honors in the Houston Astrodome. So a lot of fans from the state of Texas certainly in attendance to watch Lupe Sosa bring out the Warrior. And he'll take on some of the best-known trucks in the business right now, trying to beat that time Rob Morris set down just a moment ago. Warriors pulled to the line. You see him give the thumbs up to the U.S. Hot Rod Association officials, and he's underway. The qualifying run of the Warrior. Now the critical part is the turn. You'll see him slide, kind of let the back end hang out a little bit. A pretty good turn for the Warrior, but he lost a lot of RPMs and a lot of momentum. Now Sosa will try and hit the cars hard. A pretty good run for Lupe Sosa and the Warrior, although I don't think he eclipsed the time of Rob Morris and Four-Wheel Crazy. You got to roll the hill, but Sosa probably rolled it a little too easy, and then he really had to put the hammer down. Lupe Sosa and the Warrior officially posting a qualifying time. He'll successfully make the field with a run of 15.04 seconds. Here he is, the reigning champion of this sport, the Barefoot Chevrolet out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois, and Fred Schaefer. He's got a good-looking run going. Let's see how he hits the hill. Now hammer down to the cars. And a good-looking run for Fred Schaefer's Barefoot Chevrolet. Let's see if it's good enough to post a fast qualifying time. Once again on the replay, you can see Schaefer roll the hill nice and easy, and then he flat puts the hammer down. Look at the air Barefoot gets, and the world champion posts an outstanding qualifying run at the Houston Astrodome of 13.27. That is now the time to beat. Next up, another Texan, Scott Stevens, a true veteran in the sport. He's been at it for a long time out of the Houston, Texas area in the Auto Value King Crunch. Stevens pulls to the line in one of the more interesting trucks. Everything on the inside of the cab is computer designed. He has all computer controls and actually is one of the few monster truck racers to communicate with his pit crew by radio during a run. Scott Stevens, out of Houston, Texas, is now officially on the clock. Again, watch the turn. You can see he's right on the edge of the chalk line. Actually lifted the front wheel up a bit in the turn. A little bounce, but he looks in good shape. And an outstanding run for Scott Stevens in the Auto Value King Crunch, barely keeping her under control at the end. Once again, Stevens got a little bounce, but it didn't seem to hinder him, and he flat put his foot right through the floorboard and center airborne. Scott Stevens and the Auto Value King Crunch is the new fast qualifier with a time of 13.06 seconds. Well, here's a fellow who's been around, a champion mud racer, now running monster trucks. Kurt Fisher out of Jefferson City, Missouri, in the Micro Machines. Micro Machines, a truck built by the Breen boys who had their operation in Jefferson City, Missouri, and it was the Breens who really got the Chevy fans going in monster truck racing when they built the Mad Dog Chevrolet years ago. Boy, Fisher really with a problem in the turn. He is slowed way down, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. Not much momentum. Now he'll hit it hard, but it's probably too late to make up much time. The Micro Machines is going to post one of the slower times, certainly probably the slowest we've seen so far. Nonetheless, though, it will get him in to the bracketed competition, and that's where you've got to determine your champion from head-to-head competition. Again, on the replay, he hit it hard when he got to the cars, but it just took him too long to get there for Kurt Fisher and Micro Machines. His time, 17.16. You can see he's well behind the fast time put down by Scott Stevens. The Whiskey Business Chevrolet, another of the Breen boys' creations out of Missouri, comes up next. This is Ken Deppy behind the wheel, and Ken's an interesting story. He loves racing in the Astrodome, but a few years ago in this building, he lost control and ran through the wall here at the Dome and left that truck laying in the Houston Astros dugout. So Ken hoping he can negotiate the turn a little better this time around, and he's looking good. A good slide. You want to slide that back end out a bit. A lot of bounce. We'll see if he can straighten it out. It's a good run for Ken Deppy and Whiskey Business. We'll await the time, but we look again on the replay as he rolls the hill. He got more bounce than anybody else, but it didn't seem to hurt his time. As he keeps a lot of traction, he does not go nearly as high as some of the others, and that should save him some time. It did save him some time. 13.10 is barely off the fast time of Scott Stevens. And now, the most popular monster truck in the world today, the awesome Gravedigger and Dennis Anderson out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Gravedigger's time to beat is 13.06. Good start for the Digger. You know, Anderson never lets off. He really likes to get a lot of speed up. It's a good turn for the Digger. Let's see how he handles the hill. Now to the cars, in good shape, Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger. A good-looking run. I don't know if it's fast enough to take the top time. We'll watch on the replay as Anderson comes over the hill, and then, as is his trademark, puts the hammer down. And the Gravedigger has recorded one of the best times of the day. But we'll see if it's good enough for number one. It's not. 13.10. Still a strong run for the Digger. The original monster truck family, the Bigfoot gang out of St. Louis, Missouri. This is the Bigfoot number 8 truck, the truck Andy Brass drove to a championship a year ago. And Brass, look at the speed he's got, and the sparks flying from the brakes in the turn. It does not seem to have deterred him, however. Andy Brass is still alive. Hits the cars. What a run for Andy Brass and Bigfoot. No doubt that's going to be the fast time. You can see the sparks flying when he applied the brakes, but it cost him no time at all. And look at Brass, the state-of-the-art design of the Bigfoot number 8, handling that roll so well, and then up, and away for Andy Brass and the Bigfoot Ford. Wow, look at that time, 11.25. Far and away, Bigfoot, your fast qualifier. The Auto Value King Crunch is second. Gravedigger and Whiskey Business just thousandths of a second apart. Then Barefoot, fifth fastest qualifier. A bit of a surprise that he's that far down. Four-Wheel Crazy, Warrior, and Micro Machines round out our bracketing. And now we'll pair them up and get ready to go head-to-head. Super Trax of the Houston Astrodome. We are now completing qualifying and ready to go side by side. Bigfoot will take on Barefoot. Whiskey Business against Warrior. Micro Machine meets Gravedigger, and then Four-Wheel Crazy against King Crunch. This is a heavyweight showdown in our very first matchup. It's the Bigfoot Ford, the Barefoot Chevrolet, two former world champions, and they're coming for home in a great first-round race. Barefoot, a little bit of air. Bigfoot sends it skyward, and Andy Brass, oh, he's almost lost control, but he pulls her back in and gets the victory. What an incredible run for Andy Brass and the Bigfoot Ford. But the question is, how much damage did he do? Watch the leap over the cars. He looks like he's going out of the dome. And then sparks shearing parts everywhere. Andy Brass somehow kept it under control to record the victory. Wow. Man, we're ready for our next one right after that Warrior and Whiskey Business. Again, head-to-head, Ken Deppy and the Whiskey Business Chevrolet taking on Lupe Sosa's Warrior, the big Texan, trying to get a win in front of the home fans. He got the whole shot, but Warrior has already lost some speed, and Whiskey Business takes control. A little slow on the turn. That may let Warrior make up some time, but he's not getting anywhere. Whiskey Business in firm control. Ken Deppy will take home the victory. The Whiskey Business Chevrolet out of the Breen Boys stable in Jefferson City, Missouri, takes the victory over Warrior, which never really got a whole lot of speed up. Again on the replay, you see Ken Deppy taking the hill in pretty good shape. Again, a little more bounce than you want, but he knew he had plenty of room to work with, and Whiskey Business comes away with the victory in the Astrodome. Ken Deppy will now move into the semifinals, where he'll have to face an awesome-looking Bigfoot, provided Bigfoot can get it repaired. Well, there he is, the Gravedigger Chevrolet and the Micro Machine Chevrolet. Kurt Fisher drives the Micro Machine. Dennis Anderson from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, piloting the Gravedigger. Again, they start side by side and then break away at the end of the turn and then hit the cars coming for home. Showtime. An early advantage to Dennis Anderson, and the Digger is flat getting it on. Into the turn. Nice turn for Gravedigger. Anderson will now hit the hill. He's got the lead as he comes to the cars. And record another victory for the Gravedigger and Dennis Anderson. On the replay, you can see those red lights blaring. That means the Gravedigger is on full tilt boogie. And Dennis Anderson, in good shape to the cars, will take it right out the back door, recording a first-round victory over Kurt Fisher and the Micro Machine. We'll round out our first round of competition with another Ford and Chevy battle. It's Rob Morris out of Burleson, Texas, and the Four-Wheel Crazy Ford taking on Scott Stevens and the Auto Value King Crunch Chevrolet. This ought to be one heck of a matchup. Both of them at the starting line. They're staged and ready to go. Even into the turn. The turn may decide the winner of this one. Stevens having trouble in the turn. That did decide it. It'll be an easy victory for Rob Morris at four-wheel crazy. Wow, he got a lot of air and nose dove at the end, but he still gets the easy victory. Scott Stevens was actually even with Morris when they headed for the turn, but as we've been talking about at the Astrodome, so many components you have to do right. You got to make the turn, you got to roll the hill, and you got to stay out of trouble on the cars. Rob Morris did it well enough to take the victory in four-wheel crazy. So our first round is complete. Bigfoot beats Barefoot. Bigfoot will now take on Whiskey Business in the semifinals. Gravedigger put away Micro Machines. His next opponent will be four-wheel crazy in the semifinals.
Maybe the track's going away a little bit. I guess we'll just have to see what the other guys do. It wanted to come unhooked a little bit. It kind of bounced a few times, and that let us unhook. So I don't know if it'll be good enough to stand up.
Indeed, Bud had problems in the middle of the track, yet he is the leader, and Tommy Holman will now try and knock him off. Here comes the Saturday Night Driller, the Chevrolet out of Wayne, Ohio. Holman is just now taking out the slack. You can see he's got the truck eased up now, and here he goes. To get past the mark of the Golden Ox. Again, it's in the middle of the track where the problems come. You can see Holman also bouncing quite a bit, but then the truck settles down and he takes it just enough past the mark of the Golden Ox to get the lead. 2:31.2 for Tommy Holman.
I loved it, right. It took horsepower again, and the track kind of went away, and we really didn't know until we seen Donna come back and go 2:11, didn't quite get the distance. I thought, well, that track was tough.
But not too tough for Tommy Holman to take the lead. And the last person who can knock him out of victory lane is David Willoughby as he brings out that classic 1940 Back in Time. Willoughby has to go past the 2:31.2 mark that Tommy Holman set down. Here he goes, a lot of wheel speed. But I don't think it's quite going to be enough on the replay. You just saw it. The wheels almost stopped for a moment. For some reason, there was a hesitation in the middle of the pull, and that cost him 223 feet. Back in Time comes up a little bit short of Tommy Holman's distance, and so David Willoughby is only going to finish third.
We'll have to get back to the drawing board, rework the suspension, and hopefully our sponsors will spend a little more money.
Little more money to hopefully get up a couple more spots. A good performance for Back in Time, but he's third behind Tommy Holman's Saturday Night Driller and Bud Jaskey's Golden Ox. Donna Webb ends up finishing fourth. The superstars of monster truck racing once again coming at you from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, as we're ready to go into the semifinal round of side-by-side competition. It's Bigfoot against Whiskey Business. Then we'll see Gravedigger take on Four-Wheel Crazy. Two Ford versus Chevrolet showdowns. Here we go. It's the Whiskey Business Chevrolet and the Bigfoot Ford. Bigfoot's in trouble. Remember that rough run he had in the first round. Obviously some damage done to the Ford, but now he's picking up the RPMs at the turn. Your leader is Whiskey Business. Here he comes. And your winner, Ken Deppie and the Whiskey Business Chevrolet with a huge upset over Andy Brass and Bigfoot. Coming for home, a little bit of a bounce, but Whiskey Business keeps her straight. And obviously, the problems Bigfoot had earlier on are enough to knock him out of the competition against a good truck like Whiskey Business. So Andy Brass certainly gave us an exciting run earlier, but here you can see the damage sustained in that first round was enough to cost him here in the semifinals. He finally did get some momentum, but by then it was too late. Coming for home, Andy Brass knew he was a beaten man and apparently just decided to save the truck and pull Bigfoot off to come back another day. But this time, it's Ken Deppie and Whiskey Business into the Monster Smash Final coming up a little bit later. Well, our other semifinal matchup will again be a Ford versus Chevrolet showdown. There's the Ford, Rob Morris out of Burleson, Texas, and there's the Chevrolet, Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. We know one Chevy is in the final. Will a Ford join him, or will it be an all Chevrolet showdown? We're about to find out. They're even to the turn. The turn could decide it. They're still even. Now over the hill. Morris is ahead, but here comes Gravedigger. And he pulls it out. He pulled it out on the cars. Dennis Anderson with a huge leap, and the Gravedigger will go to the Monster Smash final against Whiskey Business. Now again, right here, the Gravedigger is behind, but Anderson hammers it hard, and look at the leap. Wow, Dennis Anderson gets it done. Man, what a run. Here you'll see an isolated replay now of the four-wheel Crazy Ford. Morris was in the lead at this point, but you can see he bounced coming off the hill, and that was just enough to cost him a chance at a victory over the Gravedigger. Dennis Anderson wins it by about a half a length. We're going to look at both trucks now coming to the finish line, and there it is. Dennis Anderson, by a half a truck length, goes to the finals. It'll be Whiskey Business and Gravedigger settling things in the Houston Astrodome. Boy, this crowd is ready for the Monster Smash final between two of the best trucks and most talented drivers in the business today. It's Ken Deppy and Whiskey Business to take on Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger. Well, you can see the Gravedigger fans with the signs and the banners in the Astrodome, and they're ready for their champion to try and come up with another U.S. Hot Rod Association championship. But do not sell the young man driving for the Breen Boys short. Ken Deppy has had one of the worst moments of his racing career in this very building when he smashed through the wall and through the dugout of the Houston Astros. And what would be a more appropriate comeback for Whiskey Business than to beat Gravedigger here in the Astrodome? Let's see if he can do it. Digger's got the lead heading for the turn. What a great turn by Whiskey Business. Whiskey Business has taken the lead. And Ken Deppy is going to get the upset. Whiskey Business has defeated Gravedigger in front of a packed Astrodome, and Ken Deppy comes home the champion in Houston, Texas. Once again, it was the turn that did it for Whiskey Business. A superb turn. He rolled the hill brilliantly, and then watch him hit the cars with the pedal to the metal. Ken Deppy and Whiskey Business comes away as the Astrodome champion. An isolated replay of the Gravedigger. Nothing wrong with Dennis Anderson's run. He came out of good shape in terms of coming off that turn and hitting the hill. A little bit of bounce, but it was just a superb run for Ken Deppy and Whiskey Business that did in the Gravedigger this night in Houston. Now here's the critical replay again. Look at that turn by Whiskey Business. He just wrapped that truck tightly around the turn pole, and you can see he comes off the hill with a full truck advantage. Then a little bit of bounce because Gravedigger was trying to make up time, and Whiskey Business had it in the bag. Ken Deppy wins it in Houston. There it is, once again, Whiskey Business, your champion of the U.S. Hot Rod Association Monster Truck Finals at the Astrodome. Wherever you see the name U.S. Hot Rod Association, you know you are getting the best in motorsports and a lot more. Today here on Super Trax, we've showed you the world's greatest four-wheel drive modified truck pullers. We've showed you the superstars, the top monster trucks in the world today. And now we are going to show you one of the premier Daredevil stuntmen anywhere in this country, anywhere in the world, as Spanky Spangler comes out onto the track. And we're about to see certainly one of the most dangerous stunts that any car stuntman can perform, as he is actually going to go up a ramp through an explosion and actually pirouette the car, not barrel roll it, but he is going to pirouette it into a 360 and hope that he doesn't lose any body parts in the process. I'm going to tell you, this is one tough stunt, and it takes one Daredevil driver to do it, and Spanky Spangler is the man. Boy, they're ready to go. As you can see, the thrill show crowd enjoying Spanky Spangler getting ready to try and wow this crowd and walk out of here on both legs. Spanky Spangler is coming down the chute. Let's see what he can do in U.S. Hot Rod Association thrill show action. When that green drops, Spangler will have the track to himself and try to show you a 360 pirouette right through an explosion. And let's hope he's all right. Here comes Spanky.
Here we go. Look out, look out, look out. Here we go. Wow!
Man, you can hear track announcer Jerry Devine going crazy, and for good reason, as Spanky Spangler pulls it off. Now the question is he okay? Spangler going high in the air and pirouetting an actual 360. And he lands it on all four wheels, but you can see the damage done to the roof. And they say he's okay. Spanky Spangler is all right. Wow. Can you believe it? Now they've still got to get that car opened up to extricate him out of it. But Spanky is telling the U.S. Hot Rod Association officials that he is okay. So that's the good news. We're going to look at this thing again, and it was an absolutely incredible Daredevil stunt by one of the world greats, Spanky Spangler, with his 360 pirouette and landing it on all four wheels here in U.S. Hot Rod Association action. Let's watch it again. Here he comes up the ramp. Now, first the explosion.
Wow.
And then he spins it 360 degrees all the way around. And you can see the impact of what happens to the front of the car actually bends the roof of the car to show you what kind of impact he went through. Man, oh man. Again, the impact on the ground is absolutely incredible. Whew. We're going to get another angle right here as Spanky Spangler wows him. Spanky has made his reputation as one of the world's great daredevils. We're going to see him in action some more, but this truly is one of his incredible stunts. The 360 pirouette in the air, and he lands it okay. Matter of fact, almost ended up on the junk cars, and if he would have, if he had gotten that much distance, I think it would have been a real problem for him. He wanted to land in the dirt bank, and indeed, that is where he did. And he's out of the car. Spanky Spangler survives another one. Spinning pirouette 360 degrees all the way around, and he's going to live to do it another day. You can see the equipment he wears. Boy, he's really walking gingerly, so obviously banged up from this one. He actually has catcher's shin guards that you'll see any baseball catcher wear, and a lot of padding, a lot of protection, and there's no question about it. Spanky Spangler is banged up from this one. So they'll assist him off the track. And while we have a moment, I'll tell you what, we're going to see Spanky in action once again, because wherever the U.S. Hot Rod Association goes, you'll see a variety of different types of motorsports excitement, including a lot of thrill acts in various arenas. And Spanky Spangler makes a lot of U.S. Hot Rod Association programs and makes them very, very exciting. We're going to get a look at him now in actually a two-car stunt, as his partner, Kurt Barrett, will bring one car out. Spanky Spangler will bring the other car out. And what they're going to do now is an incredible stunt, a stunt of timing. They kind of synchronize two flips. They're going to come at each other, and then they'll flip the cars in midair. Well, you can see the wreckage of what once was a demolition derby crowd, but a lot of the folks here on this night in the Dome want to see Spanky Spangler in action. I guess they kind of get two for the price of one, because his buddy Kurt Barrett is along, and we will see both of these cars going up ramps, and again, they'll actually flip in the air, flipping at each other, trying not to make contact, and both drivers trying to come out of it okay. It is certainly a high-tech precision stunt, a dangerous stunt, and one that takes a lot of timing, a lot of practice, and a lot of guts. Kurt Barrett, obviously in the car there that says Kurt, he'll drive off to the far end of the track as we're viewing it from this camera angle, and then Spanky Spangler will actually come from underneath our camera angle. They will both hit ramps. You can see the ramps are actually facing each other. They've got to hit the ramps and then veer off just enough to make sure they don't collide in midair, because that's not what they want to do. They want to both flip in synchronization and both come out okay. Watch for them coming out of the chute. They're waiting for their cue, and Kurt Barrett is ready. Spanky is ready. Here we go with the twin flips.
They are reducing.
Oh, look at that, end over end. Kurt's car goes, Spanky's on his roof. What an incredible stunt. Now, again, the question, as it is with any Daredevil stunt, are these guys okay? And indeed, the safety worker trying to get inside of Kurt Barrett's car to make sure that stuntman's okay. They're trying to look inside and see if Spanky Spangler can get freed up in his car, as he ended up completely over on his side. Man, what an incredible maneuver. Watch him again, up the ramps, and you see the flip, synchronization. Boy, you talk about perfect harmony. They really did go up together, spin together, and land together. What an incredible stunt. Let's make sure, and well, we're going to get another replay angle right here. And indeed, again, as the explosions go off, you can see how close those cars came to actually colliding in midair. And then they both settled down onto the track, as now the rescue workers will try and get both guys out. Isolated shot of Kurt Barrett's car as he spun and flipped right by Spanky Spangler's machine. What an incredible stunt. I'm going to tell you, when the U.S. Hot Rod Association brings the act to town, you've got to get out to the arenas, to the stadiums, because you never know just what all is going to happen. It's obviously an exciting family night out, and indeed, this stunt was something else. And the word we're getting is that both of these guys are okay, and Spanky Spangler and Kurt Barrett are going to try it again some other place, some other time in U.S. Hot Rod Association action. They're still trying to get Spanky out, actually. We've got word he's okay. What a show we've had for you on Super Tracks. Each and every week we bring you the best in motorsports action from the U.S. Hot Rod Association. Today's super four-wheel drive truck pulling action, and Tommy Holman's Saturday Night Driller coming away with the big victory. Then we took you to the world's best monster trucks and watched Ken Zeppi in Whiskey Business pull the biggest upset of his career, knocking off Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger in the Monster Smash final. And there's Spanky coming out with an incredible stunt here on Super Tracks. Spanky's still coming out, you know, each and every week here on Super Tracks. We bring you the best of the United States Hot Rod Association. And the USHRA means all types of motorsports. We're going to show you the world's greatest truck pullers, the best tractor pullers in the world, the insanity of mud racing. We'll show you the best of that from week to week here on Super Tracks. Of course, you always see the world's greatest monster trucks going side by side in the world's most exciting monster truck competition with the U.S. Hot Rod Association. And then, of course, we come at you with the most exciting and dangerous Daredevil stunts anywhere in the world today. It's all coming at you every week. Don't you ever miss out on all the action. I'm Scott Douglas. We'll see you next week.